I'm going to do a few problems from our section 2.1 in Myopenmath. And these were with the graphing calculator. So I have 2.1 pulled up. This is problem number 1, and I just told it to give me new values. I'm going to first do it on the graphing calculator and then pull the table off so we can do it by hand. So I'll turn on my calculator. You're going to go up to your y equals button. I need to clear out what's in there, and I will type this in. Now it already has the y equals, so I'll type x squared minus 2. Your variable button is here, so this will be x, your exponent button, to the second power. Now, if you have a TI-84 or 84 plus, you have to get your cursor down, probably this button or this one, your arrows, to make it move down. The 83s and the 83 plus will automatically make it come down. Right, so this is 83 plus, the cursor is down, and so I'll go ahead and put minus 2, graph, and there I go. This is my picture. So from your choices on here, you can see that, well, it's going to be this one. This gave us a parabola. And a parabola is going to be x squared, and it could have some other things, but it's going to be x squared. You knew it was not a line because of the 2 for the exponent. All right, we also need to give back these values for the table. And so rather than calculate them ourselves by hand, which we could, we go in the calculator and use it. So we want to use this table feature that's up above the graph button. So you're going to do second and hit the graph, which is really doing table since we did second. And there's our table. So we can fill in. So I have -3, 7. I have -2, 2, -1, -1, 0, -2, 1, -1, 2, 2, and 3, 7. Right, so I'm going to just move this over and do those by hand real quick. So we want to graph -3, 7. So we're going to go to the left 3 for -3 and up 7. This is 6, so you're going a little bit off your grid. -2, 2, so -2, 2. -1, -1, so to the left 1, down 1. 0, -2, so don't go over but go down 2. 1, -1, over 1, down 1. 2, 2, over 2, up 2. And 3, 7. 3, there's 6, so we got one more. And we can connect the dots. We're doing dot to dot today. But there's your graph by hand if you had to replicate it on paper from the calculator. Let's go back and make sure it looks right. It does. Very good. So let's see. We'll enter those just to make sure I didn't mess up. But I depended on the calculator, so probably I didn't. And from our choices, let's make sure I picked that one. And so they said, oh, good. You did a good job today. All right. I also picked question 2 for us to look at with the graphing calculator. Question 2 is a line. And you should recognize that before you ever go to the calculator because of the form it is in. The exponent of the x is 1. So this is actually slope-intercept form. You could graph it easily by hand. Here's your y-intercept. You would plot that, which would be 2. You would count with your slope, which is your coefficient of the x, up 2 over 1. And it's going to be a line. But we will use the calculator because that's our new thing that we're practicing. So we'll clear y equals, and I need to clear this out. So I'm going to type in 2x, 2, my variable button, x plus 2, graph. Right, so I have a line, and we'll get the table in a minute. When you are comparing to do a multiple choice, there are 2 of these that look similar, right? Our slope is positive, so it's going up to the right. These 2 are out. But for these 2, they look similar. Learn to look for certain points to help you tell the right choice. Look for 0, 0. Where is 0, 0 in relation to my graph? It is below my graph, or my graph is above it. So this one, the line is above 0, 0. This one, the line is below. So the correct choice is going to be this one. You have to learn to look at the details. Right, and now let's get the table out. So we'll move it over so we can fill in. So the buttons are second because you want the one that's above the graph button. So second, and you're hitting graph, which will do table. There's our values. And sometimes if it doesn't give you the ones you want here, you have to scroll up or down to get other ones. So for -3, we have -4. -2, we have -2. -1, we have 0. 0, we have 2. 1, we have 4. 2, we have 6. And 3, we have 8. So those are our points. We can go ahead and put them in, and we'll graph it by hand before we click check. All right, and so to graph it by hand, because they had asked us for the ordered pairs, point plotting would be what you will do. So -3, -4, but this is not one I would ever choose point plotting if I wasn't needing that table. -2, -2, -1, 0, 0, 2, so don't go over, go up 2, 1, 4, over 1, up 4, 2, 6, and the last one's going to go off my grid, so I won't bother with it. This is pretty clear that this is a line, and I'll try to draw it straight. There we go. And let's just look back on our calculator, hit graph again. Oh yes, looks good. So we'll move this, and we'll just hit enter for our answer. And good. So we did good. All right, so we have looked at a line. We have looked at a parabola. Let's see for problem 4 what we have. Problem 3 is a special line, y equals something. So it's going to be a horizontal line, but you can do that one. And we'll do problem 4. Problem 4 has an absolute value. And we have to do a special button on the graph to get this one. Sorry. And I didn't make my grid. All right, so on our calculator, we are going to clear. We're going to y equals. We'll clear that out. Right, and I'm going to enter this. So I'm going to do 2. And if I put it right beside something, that means multiplication. So I need absolute value. Your symbol is under your math menu. And you have to go across this to number. So you want to make your cursor move across from math. So we'll use the arrow button to number. The first choice is absolute value. So I'll go ahead and put enter. And that puts my absolute value on there. And so now I need to put the X inside the absolute. And then you want to close this with parentheses. Now, it's going to do the absolute value of whatever's there, okay, for whatever values you plug into X. All right, and let's tell it graph. So, absolute value looks like a V. And we can get the points off for our table. So remember that one is second and graph. So second to get to table. There we go. And we'll fill in. So we need 6, 4, 2, 0, 2, 4, 6. And we can put those in. And we'll also pick our picture out. So we have 6, 4, 2, 0, 2, 4, 6. All right. And let's look again at our picture. Okay, it's a V that's right side up. And only one of these is the correct one. So it's going to be this one. All the others are upside down. Right, we won't check it yet. Let's go to plot these by hand and make sure our picture looks right. So -3, 6. So -3, +6 will be on the edge of our grid. -2, 4. -1, 2. 0, 0. 1, 2. 2, 4. And 3, 6. And then we connect the dots. And absolute value will always look like a V. This one is a little thinner. It's stretched because of this 2 in the front. But there is our graph for an absolute value. We should probably check. Make sure Mrs. H is on track today. All right, this just puts some more with the absolute value. So I'm going to skip that. And I'm going to go down to problem 8 because I did 6 and 7 on another video. Problem 8 deals with intercepts. And so we don't really need so much paper over here. And I don't need my calculator. So intercepts, and we'll get a similar problem. All right, intercepts are the points where the graph crosses the x and y axis. And so for the x-intercept, it's going to be here. So we will answer -2. You have to watch your directions. These ask us to enter just with a comma-separated list, so we don't have to enter an ordered pair. So we don't have to have both coordinates on the point. So the x-intercept will be this point right here, which is -2. The y-intercept will be this point, which will be also a -2. So this one is 0, -2. The other one was -2, 0. 0, -2, but they didn't ask for that form. And there we go. So that is intercepts given the picture. Let's try another one. And if you need to blow your graph up, click on the corner to have a better graph there. Right? And x-intercepts. We will count this one where it just touches and turns around. So we have one at 1 and 3. Right, and I'm going to write that down. So my x-intercepts are 1 and 3. And then the y-intercept, it looks like, is -3. And that way I'll remember to put those in where I can see them good. So my x-intercepts, 1, 3. My y-intercept, -3. And submit. So, and that is the kind of question I have on your first test, just to find the intercepts from the picture. So if you don't have your graphing calculator yet, that's okay. All right, this one I'm going to tell it get a similar question. So this one is giving us a sideways parabola. This is question 10. And we just want to know the x and y intercepts. So let's make it bigger. Right, x-intercept is going to be 2. It's this point where it crosses. The actual coordinates, if we had to give an ordered pair, is 2, 0. But they just want you to tell the one piece. So I'm going to tell the 2. Now, how about a y-intercept here? No, this graph is over here. It never crosses or touches the y. So there are no y-intercepts on this one. So for x, we have 2. For y, we will just choose this choice. No y-intercept exists. Right, this question is a little different. Let's see if we can do it. So they want us to translate, first of all. So write the English sentence as an equation in 2 variables, then graph the equation. So the y value is 1 more than 3 times the x value. So your is your clue. That's where your equals is going to go. And so we have your y value is y equals 1 more than, so more than is addition. I can go ahead and write that. 3 times the x value. So if I was just going across, that's the way I would write it when you pick out of the choices here, just be a little careful. It's actually going to be your choice number 1. And addition can switch order. Remember, subtraction can't switch order, but addition can. And so it's this one. If you're looking close, this has the x with the 1. So your choice is going to be the first one. So this is the same as y equals 3x plus 1. And then they want us to graph. This is going to be a line. Whoops. We know it's going to be a line because of our form. The exponent of the x is 1. So, and this is slope-intercept form. If we just had to graph it by hand, this is your y-intercept. You plot that. Use your slope, which is 3 over 1. Go up 3 over 1 from your y-intercept. That's the easiest way to graph it by hand, is a positive slope. Let's put it in the graphing calculator since that's what we were practicing on this section. So I have to turn mine back on. Clear. Y equals clear. All right, so you should be comfortable now with going into the y equals. It has to be in the form y equals to be able to put it into the graphing calculator. So 3x plus 1, enter, graph. All right, so a line, and we can look at which one. So we have a positive slope. 3 of them have a positive slope. We have to look very closely. Right, it's not going to be this one or this one. So it's going to be one of these two. They are very similar graphs. So let's get our table. And I won't do this one by hand. I'll just make the table. Right, so remember, table is under second graph. You're doing the yellow function up above or whatever color your calculator gives. So if -3 is -8, -2 is -5, -1 is -2, 0 is 1, 1 is 4, 2, 7, and 3, 10. All right, so that is our table, and we can look for those coordinates on these two that we are matching up. So first, let's look for 0, 1 and see if it's on either one. So over 0, up 1. Okay, this one is. Right, so don't go over, go up 1. So I just picked this point. I thought that would be easy to look at. Right, so over 0, up 1. This one is good. Right, the other graph, if we look at it, right, over 0, up 1, nope, not this one. So it was our first one we looked at. It's going to be this choice that has over 0, up 1. So I just picked a point to match. If by chance the same point is on both of them, then you have to look for another point because one point could be on 2 graphs. All right, let's go back and fill in our table. So we have -8. -2 goes with -5. -1 goes with -2. 0, 1. 1, 4. 2, 7. And 3, 10. And very good.